This time Yerushalmi Shabbos. The article is edition on Daf Nun Dalet Amud Aleph. We are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line down by a Dam Milsa, which in the Vilna is counting from the beginning of the Gemara on Daf Mem Dalet Amud Aleph. 6 lines down, no, 7 lines down for the beginning of the Gemara. By Dam Milsa. Now this is Rabbi Shion who was saying this yesterday. He said the word melachos plural doesn't appear in the Torah, but this is the question which to ask, which they asked in front of Rabbi Yacha. It says Yosef came home to the house of Potiphar to do his malacha. Is that one of them? It says Gosh Baruch finishes malacha and Sheish Mei Beishis Minhon. Did we are those part of the malachas which we count towards the number which make up 39, from which you derive the malachas Mishkan or not? Tani, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, even though that's talking about Yontif, I'd say about the 7th day of Pesach. It's not the same malacha Shabbos, but it is malacha. That makes up the number of 39. That's also included in the 39 to get the 39 malacha. The cheshbon of how many times we actually count malacha is very complicated. The two Yerushalmi goes into it here because there are a bunch of malachas which are not included, some which are included. So it's not so simple. That's why perhaps the Gemara does not resolve the issue and goes on to another drasha. But somebody wants to look at how to deal with the number of times there's malacha in Torah. You can look into Yerushalmi, which is on the bottom of the page on the Vilna. So the Gemara goes on to a different drasha. Rabbi Yosef Rabun B'Shem B'Shul B'Nachmeiker Arboim Chosar Achas Pam Shekosar B'Mishkan Avoda Melacha. So 39 times either the word Avoda or Melacha by the Mishkan, by the Melechas Mishkan. Rabbi Yosef Chanina Zeh Hadavar En Ksiv Kan. It doesn't say by Shabbos Zeh Hadavar. It says Eila. It says Eila Hadvarim. So Davar. Divrei Dvarim. Mikan Avos, the Sham Kashuta changed the word L'Toloras to Malachos. So the Korban 8 explains Davar have Matzich Nichtav. It could have said Davar. Ksiv Divrei Harei Trei. By Matzich Divrei, but Ksiv Dvarim Harei Tlas. So that's 3, right? It says, could have said Davar, it says Divrei. Could have said Divrei, it says Dvarim. That's 3. The Eila in Gematria is Lamed Vav. Right? The word Eila in Gematria is 36. Harei Lamed Tes, that's 39 altogether. So I believe that is also a drasha in the Bavli. Rabbi China Tzipor Mishem Yavo said, Aleph Chad Lamed Lasin Hey Chamisha Tavar Chad Dvarim Train Udvarim, train. So he spells it out slightly differently. Aleph is 1, Lam is 30, Hey is 5, Davar is 1, Udvarim, right? It doesn't say Davar Divrei Dvarim, but Davar Udvarim, right? And so Davar and Dvarim. So the Mikan Arboim Chazar Achas Melach Shekosar B'Torah. That's the term Melachos in the Torah. Rabbi Kissan, Min Asra Lo Chaser Klum. He says from its place. In other words, from the word Eila in itself, you're not missing anything. You can learn out from there. Eila Chad, that's 1. Lamed is blessing, and Hey is Tamnaya. 5 is 8. What do you mean? Because Lo Mitzmani Rabban and Dashim in Heileches. Hey and Ches are interchangeable letters. Both Hey, Ches, Ayin are interchangeable. So therefore, Eila itself is a remez to the 39 Mamlachos, because the interchangeability of the Hey and Ches. Yerushalmi Shabbos Avin Havi B'Chad Pirka / Shani Uplug. the Rabbi Yochanan Shei Lakish learned our parak for 3.5 years, which obviously is a long time, and they learned a lot out of it. And Afkumine, they derive from it in those 3.5 years of learning. Each one of the avos has 39 tolados. Min ashkun mismach samchun. So that which they found a smach to be samech to a specific of, they did, but they didn't necessarily find. In other words, they find 39 times 39 tolados, but not necessarily corresponding precisely 39 tolados to each one of the 39 malachos, because whatever some of them, I guess. I'm not sure how Osa Shnei Batin Hirin, several laws there, but I know you got the 39. A bunch of others of them, I guess, it's hard to get up to 39. But in any event, so whatever, they couldn't get 39 under that one category, the Lashka Mismach, Abduni Mishum Makabatish. They put it on the category of Makabatish because Makabatish is an extremely broad category. Anything in Finnish Malacha, and therefore it can include a tremendous amount of possibilities. So he got up to 39, but not necessarily directly 39 per each of, but across the entire gamut. The Benoit Rabbi Chia Ruba, the children of Rabbi Chia the Great, Avnam by Pirka, Shita Yarchin, they learned this back for 6 months. So they got in 6 months to 6 tolados to each and every of. Benoit Rabbi Chia Ruba Hava B'Shitas Avun. The children of Rabbi Chia followed the Shita Rabbi Chia, the father, in the following example. The time of Rabbi Chia said, "Hakoitzer." Some of you harvest grain. Habotzer. Some of you harvest grapes. Mosek. Some of you harvest olives. Hagoider. I forgot what goider is. Hagoider is dates. Hatoilish, which is generally fruit in general, or oire, which is harvesting grapes. Kulan mishum ukaitzer. They're all chayiv because of ukaitzer, and the carbonated says hare shisha tolados de kaitzer. So the Pnei Moshe points out these are not really actually tolados, like the Karmeya says, according to, and the article brings down also from the Or Samech and the Rogachover, that these are different manifestations of the Av, because they're all harvesting, so they're all manifestations of the Av. So therefore, it's not necessarily that they learned 6 tolados from each one, which is the Karmeya learns it, but rather that the manifestations of the Avos, they're synonymous malachos to the Av, and they have different terms depending perhaps on what thing is being harvested, and that would also apply evidently to other Avos as well. Okay, Amar Rabbi Sirud Yehuda Rabbi Sirud said that Yehuda Rabbi Avdin Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Avdin have Machshirin Shisa Yarchin. He was learning Machshirin for 6 months. So Yehuda, the son of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, was learning Machshirin for 6 months. I guess what the Chabuzin says Avdin. So Pesofa at the end, Asa Chatami in Rabbi Simoy, Tami Rabbi Simoy came over to him, and B'Sholei, and he asked him a question, but he didn't respond to him. Omar, so he said, Nikar Zeh Shelo Avar Apiska Shel Torah. So the Talmud said evidently that it's clear that Rabbi Yehuda in those 6 months, it's as if he didn't pass through the Pesach of Torah, because evidently he can't respond to my question. That's how unfortunately we learned the line. It could be that it goes the other way around also, that he was saying, well, I learned the 6 months, and I see that clearly the fact that Rabbi Yehuda is saying this, about the time Rabbi Shmuel is saying, after 6 months, I can see that such a question is not a question. Okay, could go either way. Arba'im avos malachos chaser achas. Laida mil. What? Why do we have to know how many there are? What's the make? So imasar kulam be'elim echad eino chayav ela achas. So the comment tells us that if he forgot all of the Hilchos Shabbos, he's forgot, or even if he forgot all these halachos, he's only chayav once, one carbon. So that's strange, and the article changes gears, and although the commentator doesn't seem to change it outright, but probably he seems to interpret it the same way, and the Moshe as well, that it's going to tell us that you're chayav akol achas v'achas, you're chayav in each and every one. So in other words, what's the maximum of karbanos you can be chayav for in terms of malachos? 39 karbanos. Okay. Tan Rabbi Yisachar Kum Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yisachar learned from Rabbi Yochanan. Ziber v'kiter v'nisech. You slaughtered and for avodah zarah. You put something on the fire for avodah zarah. You lie by avodah zarah. Belim echad in one period of forgetfulness. We had this previously. Chayav okala achas v'achas. Chayav each every one. And Rabbi Yochanan said to him, this is before in Halacha Aleph, to Rabbi Zakkai, Babylonian one about to be out of Tlos and Naharin. You pass over 3 rivers. He said either 3 rivers, Yijim, Babylon, and Eretz Yisrael, or that there is. He mentioned these 3 prohibitions. He's baris, and it's you were broken, or the Moshe I think was back there. He's badas, you were proven false. Ein chayav el achas. You only chayav one. And we had this whole discussion again before on Memon. It's Memon base in the Vilna, Nun Amud Aleph in the Art Scroll, and now we have the next line, which the article points out is not really relevant to our sugya. It's relevant back there. Ad lo yivrein biyadei yesh kan achas ve'en kan heina min the tavra biyadei yesh kan heina ve'en kan achas. So before the without going into that discussion, which we had back then, no discussion there of achas and heina from that first sugya in our parak, which is not relevant here. So now immediately Gemara goes into a different discussion. So Rabbi Bar without going to, let's just mention that what we're saying, that chiluk melachos is shaykh only to be learned from achas mehena, of the thing achas mehena, which is only shaykh gabe Shabbos, where we have this distinction between shigas Shabbos and shigas malachos, and there we have a difference between sometimes one on each one, sometimes chayav all of them together, but it's not relevant to avodah zarah, which is a completely different sugya. Anyway, so above our memo by Rabbi Zira. Rabbi remember as from here, chayav al kol achas v'achas. Let's try and establish Rabbi Zakkai. Okay, let's say he's chayav on each and every one, just like Shabbos. How so? Shabbos says by Shabbos, don't do a malacha. It's a generality. It sounds like all malachas included together. But lo dvar eish b'chomosh v'seichem prat. The Torah sings that one specific malacha says, don't burn any fires in your communities. Havar was included in all the other malachas. Was taken out of the general principle. Teach us. The Havara is unique in that it's a specific Maisa on its own, right? It's singled out as a specific individual chiyuv. So to each and every Maisa, you can be chayiv on it individually. Havara l'chalik yotza, as it says in the Bavli. Havara teaches us chiluk malachos by Shabbos. They chayiv each malacha independently. Okay, fine. Let's say something about avodah zarah without achas and heina. Okay, so afach lo savdem klau. General principle: don't serve avodah zarah. Lo yishtach v'em prat. But there's a specific one of the avodas which is singled out, which is the chavaya. It was included in Los Avdim. It says me lamed. Why did it leave the general principle? Must be to teach us. What's it coming to teach us? Ma ishtachavei meches ma'isa yichid yochevla b'fnei atzmo. Just so ishtachavei is a specific ma'isa and chayav on it unto itself. Afkol ma'isa ma'isa. So to ishari ma'isa v'nazar sheyesh b'lechayav olah b'fnei atzmo. He's chayav individually on each one, like the just like Rabbi Zakkai said, 3 different chiyuvim. There'll be 3 independent chiyuvim. Armalei Shabbos klal b'mokam echad uprat b'mokam acher. This is a new principle in Davar Shechol Yotzam Klal Ulamed. It says, but he says by Shabbos the pasuk Yom Shabbos Hashem Chachal Lo Sasem Kom Lachal Tchem Nichabitav Tchem Maschal Ben Tchem Kerchol Shebeshvach. The pasuk Shmos base. Lo Svaru Eish Chomosh V'Seichem B'Chol Shabbos. The pasuk Shmos Lamed Hey. They're very distant from each other. It's Yotzam Min Klal. But by Avodah Zarah it says. Lo yishtachvei lohem lo savdeim ki anochi Hashem lokecha kel kanah pokei davon abos abanim ashishim arbin l'sonoi. One pasuk in Shmos Chav. So it says it's the same place. So Vazar Klaushu b'tzad prat that doesn't it's not considered a davar sheyotzei min haklal l'lamed. It's got to actually be separated from the klal. It's got to be really yotza, not be in the same location. So, Vagam Klaushu b'tzad prat. Our Malays, they said, well, I also I have such a Yotzam Min HaKlal. It says, Lo Shtachvel El Acher, in Shmos Lamadalit. Zover Le'im Echram, in Shmos Chav Beis. Hare, Klal Mokam Echel, Prab Mokam Acher. Come on. There are other pratim which I can take by Avodah Zarah, which are separate from the Klal. So, what's the problem? Our Malay came which said, Lo Me Mitzido. No. Once you have one Yotza Min HaKlal, which is next to the Klal, Afilu Klal b'mokam echad at lamed. So the probably has to be the change the Giyusa here. The Korban says, "Kim shkvar kosev b'tzad HaKlal tu lo havi liyitzim HaKlal. Avish kosev prat o b'mokam acher. Somewhere else, shelo mokam HaKlal." So it should be. It doesn't that it's not going to be. It's not going to be. It's not a prat yotzim min haklal l'lamed. So we have a fundamental principle which appears in this Yerushalmi, which is not a Bavli, which is that the prat, which is yotzim min haklal l'lamed, is to be separate, distinct from the klal, not juxtaposed to the klal. I guess it's just off the top of my head, saying that this. So it's like we're very smuchin. In other ways, so here too, the fact that it be smuchin would mean it's not really yotzam min haklal. It's adjacent klal, but not yotzam min haklal. Okay, Chavraya say no. Lo shani ben sheklal mokam echad prapa mokam acher. Doesn't matter if the klal is one place and the prat is another place. Ben sheklal prapa mokam echad, or if they're in the same place. They're really it works. Still prat yotzam min haklal. But this is the issue, and I don't think it's in the Bible as well. Klal upratu b'Shabbos. It's a klal and a prat by Shabbos. Klal v'chaka prat. A klal and then a prat. Okay, the prat is yotzim min haklal. But ba'akum prat v'chaka klal. It says lo tishtachaveh lohem v'lo savdeim. Wasn't yotzim min haklal. Came before the klal, so that's not yotzim min haklal l'lamed. Rabbi Yosef Amar Lo Shani Ben Sheklal V'Achaka Ben Prat V'Achaka Klal. Doesn't matter if it's Prat and afterwards a Klal and afterwards Prat or Prat V'Achaka Klal. Ben Sheklal Uprat Uklal. Let me see. I'll read the sentence. Yes, so Pnei Moshe takes out the words Ben Sheklal Uprat Uklal. Because I guess it would be if you put left in, it's like doesn't matter this way, that way, even this way, right? But even both of these, all these cases are klal upratu. It can be a klal and a prat and a yotzim min haklal. It can be it can't be a klal and a prat with yotzim min haklal. So so what's the machine Shabbos and Avodah Zarah? Shabbos klal ba'avodasa but prat ba'avodasa. By Shabbos the klal is by its avodah, its malacha, and the prat is by its malacha. Right? So that's the prat was yotzei min haklau superfluously, if not to teach us lechalik. But by avodah zara, klal b'avodosa, the klal is by its own avodah, which is avodah also the types of, it says lo sabdim, whatever avodah it is, it can be including the unique and idiosyncratic avodas of that type of avodah zara. But the prat is melechus gavoa. The prat is talking about tishtachavo, which is also the gavoa. So that might be something which is separate from the cloud. Perhaps the cloud is only talking about we could say, it's talking about only the avodas which are unique to avodah zara. And the prat is talking about the avodah which is kein gavoa. So therefore it's not really a yotze, I mean, I put cloud, could be it's mice in the cloud. Cloud was the avodah of that unique avodah zara, and the prat is adding on, or actually came before. The prat still says the avodah which is like avodah gavor them, and the cloud is and all sorts of other avodas as well. So it's not really a cloud prat. It's two different types of things. One say about the it's avodah dumi the gavor. The other say about avodah which is its own avodah. Right? Mona says a different shit. Yeah, another distinction. Havara shlo tzarich yotzos. Havara, there's no reason why it should have been singled out, and so therefore it must be teaching us lechalik. Ishtachava tzarich yotzos. Havara ishtachava had to be specified. Why? Lamina atzma shein a ma'is teacher, even though it's not a ma'isa, it's not an actual form of. It's not a that's I guess we could say it's not a ma'aser choshev. You're not actually doing something significant in terms of a ritual. So therefore, you have to tell us that nevertheless you're chayiv on it. So the first you sharpen this and say that the other things zvicha, kitur, and nisuch, they are significant because they are kein pnim. The things which are done in the Beis Hamikdash proper, as opposed to ishtachava, which can be done anywhere. So that's why it's less of it's not as significant a ma'isa. So I might say that ishtachava, since it's not kein pnim, it's not something which is similar to that which is unique to Beis Hamikdash, so therefore perhaps it's not the same chiyuv. I would say divrayim that you could say that. Also, although the question going to work out what's with the same name Chizkiah right now, but the ishtachava can be a sign of respect. Sebech kita nisech is a sign is worship. So ishtachava, which is respect. So you could say that ishtachava is not a ma'isa, which is miyuchad, a ritual of worship. It's a ritual of respect. So therefore, I might say not chayiv. That's why I had to specify ishtachava chayiv, even though it could be interpreted as respect and not as worship. Okay, so name it Asaki the Tani Chizkiah. This is like Chizkiah tells us Zabech Elohim Macharam. Zvicha is also Yotzim in a cloud. Yotzas the person who sacrifices for another god is going to be put to death. Yotzas Zvicha Lamed Ala Kol. Zvicha comes to teach everything else which is actual ritual worship. Shtachava Lamed Atzma Shena Ma'isa. Shtachava comes to teach us that it's itself, even though it's not a Ma'isa, not a Ma'isa because of respect, not worship, or it's not a Ma'isa Kempnim, they're still chayav on it nevertheless. So the Ochilif. So perhaps, or perhaps say that it is the opposite. That, as the Kormei says, Nema Befer, the Zvichal Atzma Yotza, Vishtachava Lamed Al Kol. Maybe that the Zvichal is coming to tell us the unique limud. The Yerushalmi Shabbos brings down from the near that the pshat like this, that let's say the Ishtachava is coming to teach us the parameters of the avodah, that any avodah is gavoah or chayvan. Anything which is done like gavoah or chayvan, that's the Ishtachava is going to tell us. In other words, the only thing has to be something which is unique to avodah zara in order to be chayv. Anything which is gavoah is chayv. And in Zvicha, Zabech Elohim Macharam, you know what? That's let's use that lechalik. And let's say, in fact, that This chiluk melachos. Ishtachava didn't want to use because you want to say ishtachava is going to tell us that you're chayiv even just for bowing down, which again, as I'm according to my pshat, for respect, not worship. Okay, let's say the other way around. Let's say that ishtachava is going to tell us that anything can go you're chayiv on, not just its own avodah. That's what ishtachava is going to tell us. And now, but we have zvicha, which is yotzei chalik. Says Gemara, no, davar shu ma'aseh melamed. Davar she'eino ma'aseh eino melamed. He says that zvicha is a ma'aseh, and it's just like all the other ma'asehs. So it can't be. It's not going to be melamed anything. No, the opposite. Sorry, zvicha, which is a davar shu ma'aseh, is melamed. I mean, if we're going to extrapolate from somewhere, we're going to extrapolate from something which is a ma'aseh to other things which are ma'aseh. So zvicha must be kind of tell us that anything which is a ma'aseh you're chayiv on. So that's davar she'eino ma'aseh. But davar she'eino ma'aseh, which is ishtachava, eino melamed, can't come to tell us something about the rituals and activities. If that's saying Gemara, it's a little bit of a pella. But Gemara is saying, even though we have two psukim which are superfluous now, we have the shtachava and zvicha. So why at least one of them let's use the chalek? Why not? Says Gemara, no, I can't say that because the pasuk of zvicha is clearly because it's a ma'aseh like any other ma'aseh, and it's a true ritual of worship. So therefore, it's got to be included with others, and it's teaching us that any type of ma'aseh, whether it's done. Bifnim, not done bifnim, it's a ma'aseh, you're chayiv. Okay, it's melamed. Davar she'eino ma'aseh, ishtachava, is not going to be something which we're going to extrapolate to anywhere else. But we can't be l'chalek because we need to tell us that you're chayiv in anyway, even though it's not going to ma'aseh. So it can't be melamed us that l'chalek. It can't be melamed us, it's because necessarily teaches itself. So again, zvicha, we need to teach us that anything which is a ma'aseh you're chayiv on, and that's teaching us that a ma'aseh, whether it's a ma'aseh, I guess, pnim or not pnim, it doesn't matter. It's a ma'aseh you're chayiv, and that leaves the ishtachava. Can we learn from that chalik? No, we still need that in order to teach us that you're chayiv, even though it's perhaps worship, not respect, or perhaps again because with the other pshat, which Kormei Pnei said before, because it's also done outside the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, then it says dimar, but Pnei Moshe says it's supposed to be mar. It's new sugya Rabbi Yirmiyah says, and that is at the top of the next amud, so we'll leave that.